How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I'm your host, FaZe Crypto. Today we are looking at a $10,300 Bitcoin thereabouts, currently standing at the $10,235 range. Today I'd like to discuss Cardano. We have a lot of different articles to bring up here. IOHK opens Cardano Research Lab at University of Wyoming following $500,000 donation, which will be an interesting article to talk about a little bit later. And of course, the 500K University of Wyoming donation, to talk about blockchain development in Wyoming, and of course, where we can expect to see blockchain technology going from here on out, especially now that Bitcoin's been able to sort of sustain itself at the $10,000 region. Much more discuss about that and what we can expect to see happening from Bitcoin and the like, in particular where we'll see a lot of these different variables coming in the near future. Cardano price analysis, after 120% surge in 2020, can ADA hold above the crucial 0.7 resistance? All these different subjects and more, and Cardano currently standing at 0.09. We'll see then how that resistance plays out. First of all, I'd actually like to start off this video with this. It would be a shame if this went viral. So I'd just like to do my part and use this platform to sort of use this as sort of a discussion point so that we could continue talking. So let's check it out.
Commissioner, Mr. President, I rise again, I'm afraid, to make the same old hoary speech that I've been making here for several years, and that is, it is my opinion that you do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all broke. And why are they broke? It isn't an act of God. It isn't some sort of tsunami. They're broke because we have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal, and it's been going on for too long. To add to that problem, you have moral hazard, a very significant moral hazard from the political sphere. And most of the problem starts in politics and central banks, which are part of the same political system. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing, but counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time. And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. And yet we blame the real retail banks for manipulating LIBOR. The sheer effrontery of this is quite astonishing. It's central banks that manipulate interest rates, Commissioner. And plus, underneath all this, we talk loosely, in a rather cavalier fashion, do we not, about deposit guarantees. So when banks go broke through their own incompetence and chicanery, the taxpayer picks up the tab. It's theft from the taxpayer. And until we start sending bankers, and I include central bankers and politicians, to prison for this outrage, it will continue.
Awkward. Such a weird little rant, but it does say a little bit of interesting things in the context of Bitcoin. Also, funny enough, trends, politics trending, still voting Yang. No, but still funny to see Yang, a trending politician, likewise his name very associated with Bitcoin, at least in the current paradigm. Is one of the few politicians that actually have even mentioned Bitcoin, but Forbes recognizes Ripple as second most valuable fintech startup. That's an interesting one. Bitcoin's decentralized nature helps people walk away from different issues. Stellar Development Foundation scores blockchain association membership. A lot of different interesting things. Never a dull moment in the world of cryptocurrency, that's for sure. So IOHK announced Friday its new research and authentication center would form part of UW's Blockchain Research and Development Lab and would promote the company's academic approach to blockchain development and engineering. The center will feature a new development facility, providing blockchain developers with an applied laboratory for writing code in Cardano smart contract language, as well as tools and resources to experiment with new solutions. There will also be a design studio for a new hardware tool that will promote authentication and anti-counterfeiting applications for Cardano. Definitely interesting to see, and I think it does take us further into the different things that are happening with Cardano. But the piece that I want to talk about right here is this interesting article. If I could ever get to it. So we've got Bitcoin may set a new all-time high in 2020. Michael Novogratz says, which is pretty cool. Bitcoin's liquidity-driven rally is likely to continue throughout 2020. Cryptocurrency investor Michael Novogratz told CNBC on Friday. Right now, Bitcoin feels a little frenzied, and we could see a surge up. But I think by the end of the year, we certainly take out the new all-time highs. Novogratz, head of cryptocurrency merchant bank Galaxy Digital, said on closing bell, or at least we go to old highs. Bitcoin reached the highs, of course, thereabouts $20,000. You all remember it. So it will be interesting to see. It is a sort of bullish sentiment to come from Novogratz, and of course we'll see how all these different things will play out. I think ultimately it's interesting to look at the technology, and of course something like Cardano is definitely an interesting crypto to pay attention to, in particular when we see a lot of the different scrutiny that Bitcoin is under, just with the overall issue of decentralization and the current paradigm that we're seeing. There is a lot of blood in the water, a lot of competition, and many other variables that will subsequently come to really rule over the cryptocurrency conversation. I don't think we've even gotten a slice of it yet, so it will be interesting to see how these things will play out. Top performers at the time of making this video, we've got Bitcoin 68.33%, Wax 53%, Golem 31%. Oh my god, it feels good to be holding some of those altcoins, doesn't it, boys? So will be interesting to see how Bitcoin plays out. I think it is interesting to talk about Cardano in a context of thinking about Bitcoin as sort of the introductory digital gold concept, Ethereum with its smart contracts, and then thinking what exactly could the future of corporate interests and all these different things have, a sort of perfect storm. To talk about Corona for a second, provided Bitcoin is a fight asset, a flight asset of choice. So it is interesting to see, is the virus behind BTC's 2020 gains. I think it does bring up an interesting point. When we want to talk about what Warren Buffett recently said about Bitcoin being a storage of fear. The more people are afraid, the more we do see them flocking to Bitcoin. It is sort of an engine of uncertainty and doubt in that context. So, just an interesting point to bring up there. Of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'm not your dad. I'm not your financial advisor. Merely here stating my opinion. Of course, remember, do your own research when it comes to Bitcoin, all these different things. It is a high-risk, volatile space. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. Remember, we will see some pretty interesting things. Remember to comment down below as well, letting us know what you guys think about the different subjects that we've talked about in this video. I think we've done a lot. I think we've talked about a lot of very interesting points. I think this has been a pretty information-driven, news relevant, video. I think I'm pretty proud of this video, so I'm happy to put it out there. Remember, comment down below letting us know what country you guys are watching from. We had people from Finland, even some people from Iowa commenting on the last video, so we'll see who's down there, who's watching today. But all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe, comment down below, and stay relevant. Have a good one.